Courtney Clenny was born in 1996 in the state of Texas, United States. With parents who were both successful, her father a well-known lawyer, she grew up surrounded by privilege, never lacking in material comfort. Though she wasn't particularly exceptional in academics, Courtney stood out in athletics. From gymnastics and volleyball to horseback riding, she showed strong natural ability. What started as casual participation in sports eventually became serious. By high school, she was focused on weightlifting and bodybuilding, earning multiple victories in fitness competitions. With these achievements, Courtney easily could have chosen a traditional path to college. But she was determined to follow her own dream. After finishing high school, she left that opportunity behind and moved to Los Angeles, California, to build an audience on social media. Courtney began her career by sharing striking photos and videos on Instagram. Her content wasn't limited to fitness training, it also highlighted the parts of herself she felt most confident about. To some it seemed simple, maybe even frivolous, but it worked. Practically overnight, she became a sensation. Her live streams attracted hundreds of thousands of viewers, surpassing even established names. Within a short time, she had more than 2 million followers. Like many influencers, Courtney quickly monetized her popularity. She promoted brands and products ranging from beauty items to supplements and clothing. Eventually, she expanded to OnlyFans, a platform where creators share exclusive content for subscribers willing to pay. On OnlyFans, Courtney's chosen content proved wildly successful. Fans eagerly paid for access, and within a decade she was earning around $1.8 million per year. By late 2020, with her career at its peak, she met the man who would change her life, Christian Obumseli, known to friends as Toby, a young man just 2 years older than her. Much like Courtney, Toby had an athletic background. He was a standout football player in school, admired not just for his talent but for his kindness and ability to brighten any room. Although many thought he was destined for professional football, Toby took a different path. Diving into cryptocurrency and stock trading, his sharp instincts quickly brought him wealth. Toby's reputation as a charismatic and successful young man spread quickly, eventually catching Courtney's attention. She sent him a direct message on Instagram, confident, bold, and unmistakably flirtatious. From their very first meeting, sparks flew. They became a couple almost immediately. Toby accepted Courtney's free-spirited lifestyle, even adjusting his own schedule to support hers. To the outside world, they seemed to be living a dream, traveling together, constantly at each other's side, and filling social media with photos of their glamorous relationship. But soon, the cracks began to show. Courtney was rumored to spend time with other men and live a carefree lifestyle outside of the relationship. Toby, meanwhile, wasn't allowed to meet his male friends and was even restricted from meeting his own clients for business. This control exhausted Toby, but out of love for Courtney, he complied. Eventually, she told him, "Quit your job and be my personal assistant. You're not making that much anyway." At the time, Toby was doing well financially, but his earnings were still far less than Courtney's booming income from OnlyFans, Instagram, and YouTube. Loving her deeply, Toby agreed once again. From that moment, Courtney began to change, but in a negative way. She started using harsh words to insult Toby, and sometimes became physically aggressive over small mistakes. While Toby worked for her, she spent nights out at bars, spending money without hesitation. Her partying became so notorious that nearly every bar in Miami knew her by name. Worse still, whenever she drank too much, she had a habit of throwing things and lashing out. One major incident happened at a hotel where they were staying. Guests heard loud arguments and objects breaking, prompting them to call the police. Toby ended up needing medical treatment, while Courtney was heavily intoxicated and gave incoherent responses to the officers. Her drinking spiraled into a daily routine. Normally, she should have faced stricter tests beyond just alcohol checks. But with her father's influence as a prominent lawyer, she often avoided serious consequences. Still, luck didn't protect her every time. She was once arrested and held for 12 hours for damaging hotel property and electronics. From there, additional arrests followed for property damage and altercations with Toby. Despite enduring abuse, Toby continued to protect her, helping to secure her release because he truly loved her. That love led him to a bold idea. Maybe a change of environment could help her settle down. He decided to restart his business and suggested they move to London under the pretense of work, but more importantly, to pull Courtney out of the party scene. Courtney, however, refused. She insisted on staying in the US, only agreeing to move to another city. The choice was Miami, Florida, a city that would later become the backdrop of tragedy. They moved into a luxury high-rise at 3,131, paying about $10,000 a month in rent. Toby gave up his own career entirely to serve as Courtney's manager, working almost without pay. But Courtney didn't change. She continued her nightlife routine, becoming a familiar face in Miami's young party crowd. As time passed, Courtney grew harsher. She insulted Toby more often, controlled his finances, and isolated him from work and relationships. Jealousy became constant, and she threatened to kick him out, sometimes even using offensive and racially charged remarks. The situation escalated when a live stream involving several influencers captured Courtney saying she wanted to date a wealthy black man and hinted at wanting to control her partner. The comment deeply upset Toby, but instead of resolving the issue, Courtney responded with anger and aggression. Then, on the 21st of February, 2022, just 2 months after moving to Miami, a shocking video surfaced. In the footage, captured inside an elevator, Courtney, then 25 years old, was seen repeatedly striking and shoving Toby, while he simply tried to defend himself without hitting back. Their volatile relationship was already widely known in the area, but this video made everything undeniable. Even worse, Courtney appeared unapologetic. She posted online with an attitude suggesting pride, implying, "I can control my man to this extent." The public backlash was swift. Most people condemned Courtney and sympathized with Toby. Fearful that the drama would ruin her online career, Courtney decided to break up. But Toby, who by then had lost so much, refused to let go. More importantly, he still loved her. In an effort to push him away, Courtney brought her parents to live with them, gave rooms to friends, and tried everything to drive Toby out. Yet he refused to leave, sometimes forced to sleep on a bench in the lobby rather than inside their apartment. On the 2nd of April, 2022, the tension between Courtney and Toby boiled over once again. Inside the lobby of their apartment building, Courtney lashed out at him. When Toby began bleeding, building staff quickly called the police. Courtney, in a panic, begged them not to report it, saying she had already been questioned many times before and feared this time it would be much more serious. But the staff stood firm and did their duty, contacting the authorities. Body cam footage from responding officers captured the moment they arrived. Shockingly, Courtney even requested a restraining order against Toby, painting herself as the one in danger. Toby, meanwhile, was seen pleading with officers, asking them not to arrest her. In the end, the situation was de-escalated without charges that night. But just hours later, in the early morning of the 3rd of April, tragedy struck. Medical responders rushed to the couple's apartment and found chaos inside. Officers ordered Courtney out into the hallway, face to the wall, while Toby lay in critical condition, barely conscious. Courtney admitted she had caused the injury but insisted it was an accident. She claimed Toby had attacked her first and held a knife to her, and that in a moment of panic, she threw the knife from about 10 feet away, unintentionally causing a fatal wound. Investigators, however, found the explanation unconvincing. Even trained professionals would struggle to inflict such an injury from that distance. Police didn't buy her story. Courtney was taken into custody immediately, while Toby was rushed to the hospital. During questioning, Courtney repeatedly asked about his condition, appearing worried. But when told he was alive and under care, her reaction confused many. Was she relieved he had survived, or afraid he might recover and share the truth about what had happened? Later phone records revealed something chilling. 20 minutes before Courtney called 911, she had calmly spoken with her father on the phone, even as Toby was critically injured. Only after that call did she finally dial emergency services, and when news of Toby's death reached her, Courtney's reaction stunned observers. Whether she felt guilt in that moment remains unclear, but she was quickly placed under investigation and brought to trial. Because her father was a wealthy and skilled attorney, the initial trial's outcome was controversial. Courtney was deemed to have acted in self-defense and received a suspended sentence. Many called the ruling outrageous, but the hearing had been held behind closed doors, leaving details hidden. After her release, Courtney further enraged the public by posting glamorous photos online and even celebrating with her father and defense team. For Toby's family and friends, the pain deepened. Though the trial had ended, his loved ones continued their fight for justice. Quietly, they pushed to reopen the case, and law enforcement worked with them. On the 11th of August, 2022, the case was officially re-investigated. with military prosecutors and independent experts brought in. Courtney was once again brought to court, this time in a public trial before a jury. Her defense team stuck to the same story of self-defense, but prosecutors pointed out major inconsistencies. First, Courtney submitted photos of bruises, claiming they proved Toby had attacked her, but experts argued the images were unconvincing. Toby, an athletic and strong man, would not have left only faint marks if he had truly assaulted her. Investigators suggested those bruises may have been staged later, possibly during the 20-minute window when Courtney was on the phone with her father before calling 911. The second claim from Courtney was that, in panic, she had thrown the knife from about 10 feet away. Yet prosecutors argued that the forensic evidence told a very different story. The injury showed signs of a close-range attack. Weapons experts, including former military personnel, testified that even a highly trained soldier would find it nearly impossible to throw a knife from that distance and cause such a deep wound. Her defense team pushed back. They argued that the audio from Courtney's 911 call revealed a panicked young woman begging for immediate help. Something, they said, that did not match the profile of someone who had intentionally carried out an attack. But regardless of how her lawyers framed it, the investigation began shifting. What had once been described as a tragic accident, or even a case of self-defense, was increasingly being viewed as an intentional act. To this day, the legal battle has not reached its final chapter. The court proceedings continue, and across American social media, debates rage on. Was Courtney Clenny innocent, caught up in a terrible accident? Was it reckless but unintentional? Or was it, as prosecutors claim, a deliberate act that took the life of her boyfriend?